All right, look, breaking into the cloud computing industry can honestly feel like staring at this massive, expensive brick wall. But today, we are knocking that wall right down. In this explainer, we're going to lay out a 100% free, totally tactical plan to help you pass the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, which you'll hear called the CLF-C02. And we're going to help you do it fast. But before we jump into this strategy, I've got a serious question for you. Are you overpaying for your certification practice tests? Think about it. If you've been stuck paying these crazy expensive monthly fees just to access halfway decent study materials, you are definitely not alone. Practice questions are, hands down, the absolute best way to pass any IT cert. But they absolutely should not require you to empty your wallet just to prove what you already know, right? So here is our roadmap for today. 1. Easiest entry into cloud. 2. The certification prep trap. 3. The free practice solution. 4. Your fast pass study plan. And 5. Getting ready for exam day. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, Easiest Entry into Cloud. This is all about your first step with the AWS CLF-C02. Look, if you're a beginner, maybe a student, or even a career changer on a tight budget, the CLF-02 exam is widely recognized as basically the easiest, most accessible entry point into Amazon Web Services. And you might be wondering, why is that? Well, it focuses purely on foundational knowledge. We're talking high-level cloud concepts, shared security models, billing architecture, stuff like that. It doesn't demand years of deep hands-on coding or engineering experience. You literally don't need to be a software developer to pass this thing. It is just the perfect starting line to prove to employers, hey, I actually understand how the modern cloud operates. Moving right along to Section 2, the certification prep chop, looking at dump sites versus paywalls. Now, here's where things get tricky. When you go looking for practice questions, it's so easy to fall into this really painful trap where you have to choose between two totally terrible options. On one hand, you've got dump sites. These are just chaotic, unorganized lists of questions with zero explanations. You end up just memorizing letters, right? Like, okay, question 42 is definitely C. That is a huge mistake because when you sit down in an actual job interview and they ask you to explain your reasoning, you're going to totally freeze up. On the other hand, you have paywalls. These platforms look amazing at first, but then they suddenly hold your progress hostage and demand a credit card after giving you like 3 free questions. And we're talking about roughly 29 euros a month. That's a massive financial barrier. Competitors routinely charge this amount, sometimes even more, just for basic access to their question banks. If you're self-learning and trying to pivot your career on a tight budget, you shouldn't have to sacrifice your grocery money or stretch your bank account thin just to take a few practice tests. So what do we do about that? That brings us to Section 3, the free practice solution. Let's meet CertBase. If the goal is learning without hitting that incredibly frustrating paywall, well, there's a small independent project that solves this exact problem. Enter CertBase. It was built on a very simple but super powerful belief. Studying for an IT certification just shouldn't cost money, period. They offer a completely free environment filled with real exam questions, and they literally never ask for your credit card. And their core offering is just wild. It gives you an entire arsenal for exam prep. We're talking about a full bank of over 130,000 real exam-style questions, which includes everything you could possibly need for the AWS CLF-C02. You get these deeply written explanations for every single option, an exam simulation quiz mode to, test your nerves, automatic tracking to catch your weak spots, and a massive community to lean on when you get stuck. And the absolute best part, I'll say it again, it is 100% free forever. All right, Section 4, your Fast Pass study plan. Let's talk about how to pass the CLF-C02 fast. Let's turn all those amazing tools into an actual step-by-step game plan you can use today. Step 1. Isolate the AWS CLF-C02 exam on the platform. Step 2. Utilize study mode to really take your time and absorb the explanations. Step 3. Run quiz mode to simulate the ticking clock and the pressure of the real test. And finally, Step 4. Systematically review your weak spots so you're constantly leveling up. Let's zoom in on Step 2 for a second, because this requires a massive mindset shift. You gotta learn the why, not just the right letter. This is absolutely vital, because every single answer on CertBase comes with a written explanation. You're actually learning the technology behind the question. Say an exam prompt asks about CloudFront caching static content at the edge. You don't just memorize that C is the answer. You actually learn why edge locations fundamentally reduce latency for users all across the globe. Doing it this way guarantees you deeply understand the concepts, completely eliminating the need for that brittle, unreliable memorization we talked about earlier. Then, for step 3, you drop into quiz mode, and this entirely strips away the safety net. It gives you a fixed set of questions, a strict countdown timer, and absolutely zero explanations during the test itself. It perfectly simulates the stress, the isolation, and the pacing of official, real-world exam conditions. And if you do this repeatedly, by the time test day actually rolls around, that ticking clock is going to feel completely normal to you instead of giving you massive anxiety. Finally, step 4 is all about the data. You review your actual performance. CertBase automatically saves every single question you miss and generates a specific per-domain breakdown right at the end of your quiz. Just imagine looking at your results and finding out, oh wow, I'm crushing secure architectures at 88%, but I'm completely bombing cost optimization at 38%. It flags exactly where you need to focus your energy next. That means you never waste your precious study hours reviewing stuff you've already mastered. Which brings us to our last stop, Section 5, Ready for Exam Day. Let's cover the community and your final steps. As test day gets closer and closer, there's one last really powerful tool you need to use. Solo studying can honestly be super isolating, but every single question on this platform has a community discussion thread attached to it. So you can debate reasoning with peers who are taking the exact same AWS exam as you can spot tricky wording designed specifically to trap you, and you can upvote the absolute best explanations. That way, the clearest, most accurate answers naturally rise right to the top for everyone to see. So you've got the roadmap. You know exactly what financial and educational traps to avoid, and now you've got the ultimate free tool. Head straight over to certbase.pro/AWS-Cloud-Practitioner to launch your free study plan right now. There's no account required to get started. You literally just jump right in and start mastering the material. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If the absolute best way to pass your IT certification and land that dream cloud job is to truly understand the material, to learn the why behind every single answer, why would you ever pay a monthly fee just to practice? Take advantage of these free resources, understand the concepts deeply, and go absolutely crush that CLF-C02 exam. You've got this.